Germany. And that's going to be my second part of the discussion. But before that, I'd like to take a quick pause here. All right. And I would like you to take the next 5 minutes to put whatever questions you have regarding your career plan, everything that you want to ask on the Q&A box that you can see. Yes, I'd like you to take the next 5 minutes to do that. I see there's only one question in the Q&A box. I request all of you in the audience. I see that there are at least 28 of you on the call. I'd like you to quickly put down your questions in the Q&A box. Yes. Great, great. So I do see that there are a lot of questions here. So I see there's a question from Khalil that you have done a BCom and your percentage is 42%, and you did your MBA, you have a 75%. Can you get the visa and admission? So I'd take up that question. What is the duration for the course to complete in France? Pursuing BBA, what exams could I give? If I want to pursue MBA after graduation, do I need work experience? Is non-managerial role like software engineer counted while admission to B schools and subsequent placement? Wonderful. Great questions. And I think that's some really relevant questions, which you should be asking at this point when you are considering this decision. So first, let me introduce you what the MBA program really is, and then I will help you understand if this could be a good fit for you. So I do have an MBA program, and that is from a university. It is called the Paris School of Business. Now, this is a school which is based out of Paris, which is based out of France. And like I told you, one of the things that really stand out about France as a country is the fact that it is one of the strongest economies. Currently, it's the seventh largest economy in the world, and you know what France is synonymous with. It is synonymous with commerce. It is synonymous with fashion. It is synonymous with luxury. It's synonymous with tourism. There are more than 31 Fortune 500 companies here. Some of the biggest brands, world's biggest brands, whether Chanel, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Renault, L'Oreal, all of these are French brands. And the great thing about it is, I'm speaking from an education point of view. Like I discussed, France is number 2 in the world for Triple Crown business schools. Triple Crown business schools. Now, this is a recognition which only 1% of the business schools have. All right. So, let's talk about what are these accreditation and what is this recognition. So, when you talk about a Triple Crown accreditation, it's a school which has three core accreditation. One is, of course, the AACSB accreditation, which only 5% of business schools have it globally. The second is called an Equus accreditation, which is an accreditation given by Europe. And it's the best accreditation that the Europe system of education can give any private institute. And the third is called an Association of MBA, right? So in the landscape of MBA education or in the landscape of management education, if an MBA program has an AMBA accreditation, it means that there can be no better MBA program than that globally. This AMBA accreditation is an accreditation which only 3% of business schools across the globe have it. Yes. Now, if I talk about in India, I'll tell you which two universities have this in India. There are only two schools which have an AMBA accreditation. One is in IIM Indore, yes, and the other is IIM Lucknow. So you can see which kind of universities I'm speaking of, right? Now, this university, which, I just highlighted, Paris School of Business, it's a school which has these three triple crowns or accreditation. It's an AMBA accredited MBA, which means that if you graduate with an MBA from this university, you are highly employable. You are amongst those graduates, the top 3% of graduates globally who have graduated from such kind of an institute. And when I say you're highly employable, I also want to say that in international economies, often students have this question whether I'll be employed full time, whether I will be laid off. Having a degree from an AMBA accredited schools means that it's very difficult to lay you off. Why? Because you're a highly skilled employee. That's how you're recognized. So this Paris School of Business, it's an excellent business school in Paris, in the heart of the French commercial district. Yes, and you know that what kind of companies are there. You know that what kind of work opportunities are going to meet you once you graduate from it. And it's a very interesting, let's say, coursework or a journey that you're going to have. So when I talk about the MBA from Paris School of Business, it is open to students from all backgrounds, any background. You can be an art student. Somebody just mentioned you're from a technical background, so you can be from a technical background. You could have done a BTech, you could have done a Bachelor of Engineering, you could have done a BSc. You could also be an art student. It does not matter. It does not differentiate between students of any background. You simply need to have 60% marks, yes, during your undergraduate studies. Yes, it's preferable if you have a 4-year bachelor's degree, you need to have 60% marks, and you need to have a minimum of 3 years of work experience after your graduate. Now, even when it comes to the work experience, somebody did mention about transition. It really does not matter what kind of work experience you hold. All right. You could have worked in a purely technical field and you will be accepted provided you are from a 4-year bachelor's degree and you have 3 years of work experience after your graduation. If you meet these two criteria and the university that you're graduating from is either a NAC A or A plus or A plus plus accredited, you can get an admit into this school. You basically meet the eligibility criteria for an admit into the school, and it's a very interesting coursework that you are going to do. So essentially, at Upgrad Abroad, we give you this opportunity to start your studies right here and right now. So of course, if you are considering education abroad, you would know that admission cycles abroad, they have intakes, right? So just like you want to get into any college in India, if it's your first year of college and you're trying to get admission, you know that admissions open from only May till July. And if you do not get admission in that period, you cannot take admission until the next 1 year. Like that, abroad, when you're studying abroad, you have two intakes, all right? One is obviously the spring intake, or that's in January, and the other one is in fall intake. Yes. Now look at it. If you today want to pursue an MBA, the soonest you can go for an MBA to Europe, let's assume in this Paris School of Business, is October next year. Why? Because of the fact that January is already here. It's 2 months away, and admission cycle for January would have already closed. You have time till October, but October is at least 10 months away. Yes, not only that, you to get into any MBA, of course, I assume everyone is looking here for a top tier MBA, for any MBA that you choose to do, you need a GMAT score if it's an international MBA. You all know what a GMAT is if you're looking for an MBA. It's equivalent of a CAT. Yes, it includes questions on verbal reasoning on and also analytical aptitude, mathematics. Yes, and you all know that it's not a very easy exam to crack. You need preparation of at least a good 1 year if you're targeting a score above 600, which is also what top tier B schools across the globe look for. Now, the great thing about the upgrade opportunity is the fact that you do not have to wait until October to start your coursework. Yes, we have provided you an avenue, or we have provided you an opportunity where you can start your coursework with Paris School of Business as a Paris School of Business candidate as early as January, right? So, as early as January, you can enroll into the program. You can complete 4 subjects, right? You can complete 4 subjects in the next 4 months, next 4 to 6 months. And after you complete that online component, which is 4 months of, 4 courses, you can do the remaining courses on campus. And that duration is going to be for 12 months. So essentially, you do not wait until October to start your coursework. You start your coursework in January, but yes, you started online. All right. There is no difference in the curriculum. You study the exact same subjects that you would have done if you were in Paris, but you get a head start. You start early. And when you go to Paris officially in October, the best thing that happens for you is that you have already got integrated into the curriculum. You do not have to start from scratch because you've done the online coursework sitting at home from the comfort of your home, and you are so much well prepared to actually take in what the MBA on campus is going to give you. That is essentially the upgrad journey. You start online, you finish on campus. And the more important thing is that there is no difference in the degree that you get. Towards the end, when you graduate with an MBA from Paris School of Business, there is no difference in the degree that, let's say, I would have gotten if I did the whole program there, or you would get if you do part program online and part program on campus. Yes, but you know what the better part is? Is the fact that your cost comes down significantly. Is the fact that it becomes highly accessible for you for 2 reasons. One of the more important reasons is that you do not need a GMAT score for this top tier MBA that I'm speaking of. There is a complete GMAT waiver. All you need is a 60% in your graduation and 3 years of experience, and you're eligible for the program. Yes, you must ensure that when you are doing the 4 months coursework here, you are actually going to have a requisite score to transfer on campus. Yes, but you have a GMAT waiver and you get to do this course on campus in exactly 14,000 euros. Yes. Now, when I talk about 14,000 euros, and that is the more interesting thing, if I calculate it in INR terms, it's less than 13 lakh rupees. It's approximately 12 lakh rupees. So that is one MBA program that I am going to suggest to you. That's a top MBA program, really sought after MBA program globally. Yes, and like I said to you, Paris School of Business, it's a highly acclaimed school in Paris. It has gotten several awards to its credit. Yes, if you go and research about it, you will read that 70% of the candidates who graduate with a MBA from the Paris School of Business actually get permanent jobs. Yes, they are not employed on contracts, which is the more common way of employing people abroad. They have an excellent placement ratio of at least 94%. Yes, and of course, biggest thing for every student out here, I think that all of us, one of the main things that concern us is, the fact that doing an MBA, which is so important for our career, is going to put some kind of a strain on our finances. But yes, this is so doable, even by Indian standards, because if today you want to do an MBA from India, and I'm assuming that everybody here is a stellar student, you are academically bright, you are obviously going to target a top tier MBA, because even if you're not going to target a top tier MBA, then actually it makes no sense, right? It actually makes no sense because of the fact that what really matters is the brand value of the MBA in the long run. So if you compare, and since this is a triple crown school, I just want to take a moment to tell you which are the triple crown schools in India, so you know what you are comparing Paris School of Business to. So in India, you only have three schools which are triple crown schools. You have Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. You have Indian Institute of Management, Indore. So you have IIM Calcutta, IIM Indore. And there's a third school which has got a triple crown accreditation, and that is ISB Hyderabad. Now, you all know that how these universities are perceived, and you also know one thing, that what is the cost of this MBA? I'll talk about the ISB MBA, which is 10 months. The duration of the MBA is 10 months, but it's going to cost you nothing less than 40 lakh rupees, even if you're studying in Punjab, Mohali, or whether you're studying in Hyderabad. You're looking at 40 lakh of investment with an average salary of 25 lakhs once you graduate. Yes, but compare it to what the opportunity here is for you. You have an MBA from a triple crown school in Paris, right at the heart of the French commercial district. First and foremost, look at the kind of exposure you're going to have. It's completely unparalleled. Yes, here you're studying with students from your own vicinity. You're familiar with them, but there you're stepping out of your comfort zone. You're going to study with students all across the globe. It's a very cosmopolitan environment. And the kind of exposure you will get is not just going to shape you professionally, but also personally. Yes, you are going to be a completely changed person once you graduate from there, of course, for good reasons. Then the other thing that really is there is the fact that it's an international MBA. So this doesn't just open you up for employment in India if you choose to come back to India, but across the globe. Yes, in France, if you want to get employed, but not just in France, but the entirety of Europe is really like your stage. Yes, of course, like I already mentioned to you, Paris School of Business has a 94% placement rate, and so many of the students, they get employed in global MNCs, some of the best in the world, whether it's LVMH, whether it's L'Oreal, whether it's Renault, you name it, and it's all there in France. So that's the other thing. Now, talk about ROI. You are spending less than 13 lakhs on campus for a 1 year MBA. 13 lakhs on campus. And if I talk about the living cost, let's assume it's another 12,000 euros. So another 10 lakh rupees. So in 22 lakh rupees, you have got a top tier MBA, an international MBA, a global curriculum, and you are going to earn nothing less than 65,000 euros on an average. If I were to tell you that in INR terms, that is essentially approximately 60 lakh rupees. Now, that how much you earn is obviously the second piece of the puzzle, because how much you earn is not going to be same for all of you. Some of you may earn more than the others. Some of you may also choose to come back to India. But like I told you in the beginning of my session, the ROI of an MBA, of course, you will have an ROI, huge jump. And that will also help you recover how much you've spent for an MBA. But never ever measure an ROI of an MBA basis what you earn in the first year, because you will reap immense value out of it in the next 20 to 30 years, right? If tomorrow you decide to come back to India, and let's say sometime later, 5 years down the line, you wish to make a move again, you wish to have a global career, you wish to step out of India again, an international MBA is going to help you a lot more than having an MBA in India. Yes, any MNC would prefer you if you have an international MBA. That door is always going to be open, which is so important in a country, in the kind of landscape that we are living in today, which is so globalized. Right? So that's the other point. And of course, you are graduating with a top tier MBA, you're graduating with quality. The process is so simple. You do not have a GMAT. You do not have to take a break from your career and study for a GMAT exam. You do not have to go through that rigor. Any student, who's really struggles with, let's say, giving exams, which is a common thing, or you struggle with a particular subject, whether it's verbal aptitude or mathematics, it's common. You do not, an MBA from a tier one institute is now possible for you from the Paris School of Business. Yes. So other that's the one thing that I want to talk of. That's the one MBA. And I can tell you one more thing, that if you become an alumni of Paris School of Business, any French business school, you get a 5-year alumni visa. That is incredible, because if tomorrow you choose to come back to India, for the next 5 years, you can continue to go back and forth to France. If you wish to come back to India because you did not find the job, nobody is ever going to stop you to go to France. In the next 5 years, you can go back and forth any number of times, provided you spend not less than 90 days at one point of time, and you can look for a job, you can start for your business. The opportunities are endless once you really pursue an international MBA. Yes, so that is one MBA that I'd really want to speak of. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a quick pause once again, and I would love for you to ask me questions before I go into another MBA that I want to suggest you in Germany, which again, is something that a lot of people, I believe, that prefer, or seek an MBA from Germany, because we all know that, again, Germany in Europe is so sought after for higher education. So let me take up one question one by one. Okay, Khalil, my BCom percentage is 42% and you did an MBA. So essentially for Paris School of Business, the criteria is 60%, but of course we can help you with other MBA programs with the kind of percentage that you have. All right. Now, my next question is from Vamshi. What is the duration for the course to complete in France? So, like I mentioned to you, if you're choosing Paris School of Business, which essentially is one of the better or the best MBA programs that you have, it's 4 to 6 months of duration in India and 12 months in France. I am pursuing BBA last year, 5th semester. What exam should I give? It completely depends, Samay, on what is your intent. If you choose to do an MBA in India, you should prepare for the CAT or the GMAT. If you want to keep your options open, you should give a GMAT. Even then, now, if you wish to choose to go ahead with upgrad, let's say, for example, you get a GMAT waiver on all MBA programs, whether it's in the US or whether it's in Europe. Yes. What about backlogs history? If I'm talking of France, it really does not matter, but it matters that you have a good profile. If you're looking in the US, it matters. It's subjective. It depends from university to university. But I would say no cases more than 10 backlogs. Is it true that Switzerland MBA is good? Of course. I think the education system in Geneva is well known. It's very well known for research. So if you're looking for a research oriented MBA, you want to, get into top MNCs and study distinct subject areas, it's a good place to pursue an MBA or a DBA also. If I want to pursue MBA after graduation, do I need work experience? In most cases, an MBA is recommended after work experience. In most cases, universities openly say that I will not accept you until you have 3 years of experience. But in some MBAs, of course, they allow you with, even if you do not have any years of experience. But in my recommendation, it's always preferable to go for it if you have 3 years of experience, because in an MBA, which is a 1 year MBA, they won't teach you things from the scratch. They will assume that you already know a lot of things, because in your classroom, there'll be people who even have 10 years of work experience. And with so many years of experience, people assume you know the basics. So they'll teach you from a top level. So it's recommended you go after at least 2 to 3 years of experience. Yes, which will make it more easier for you to get through it. Is non-managerial roles like software engineer counted? Absolutely. I will tell you that one of the things that an MBA college looks at is diversity, because an MBA, like I said, is about the network that you take with you. And it's obviously better if you're learning from everybody who's coming from a different background. That's essentially what an MBA is trying to teach you. So if you are somebody who has a software engineering background, you will hold a lot of value. You will really be considered a great candidate or a great fit for an MBA program. I'm thinking of doing MBA in marketing. Can you help me out with this? Absolutely. So, I think that there are two types of MBA programs. One is obviously a generalized MBA. And after you do that MBA, they essentially cover marketing, finance, strategy, all of that in the entire coursework. But you can also choose to do an MBA with marketing as a specialization. We do have an MBA in Germany, and that's an MBA from the University of Europe for Applied Sciences in Berlin. There's a marketing specialization. Again, it's an MBA which will allow you to do 4 months in India and 12 months on campus. And again, it's an MBA which you can afford at less than 15 lakh rupees. Yes. What is the entrance test required and language skill? Again, it depends, but yes, you need English proficiency skill if you're targeting schools internationally, and ideally a 6.5 in IELTS is required. Ma'am, do we have exam for entering to a college? At upgrad, you do not need any exams. You do not need a GRE score. You do not need a GMAT score. All right. My next question is, how many years of experience do we need to get MBA from abroad? And do people do PhD after they get into IIM ABC to get high salary? PhD is only done if you want to get into an academic position. Yes, because of the fact that a PhD is a doctorate degree. A PhD is done if you want to teach at a college, if you want to be an assistant professor, if you want to be a guest lecturer, if you want to research on any unique topic and you want to publish papers. But if you want to be in a corporate world, I would say an MBA is great. And obviously, you move up the ladder with work experience. If you have an MBA, if you have a PhD alongside an MBA, of course, it's like cherry on the cake. And if anyone who's more educated is always given a preference. Yes, in France, does MBA have scope? Absolutely. I think that this is what I have covered, that MBA has scope anywhere across the globe. What matters is what kind of an MBA you're getting into, which place are you doing it from. Yes, and of course, you also have to measure the kind of ROI that you are getting. So it has great opportunities, France, because it's the commercial, France as a hub. It's well known for commerce. It's well known for retail. It's well known for supply chain. It's like number 5 in the world for supply chain. It's well known for fashion and marketing. It's number 1, right? It's well known for banking. It's great for tourism. So there are opportunities galore, of course. Okay, so what is the fee structure in Germany? So again, like I said, the fee structure in Germany for University of Europe for Applied Sciences, which is a university in Germany. Yes, and we also have a campus of that university in Dubai. Yes, and again, it's a very great school, and you can do an MBA on campus for UV Germany at under 15 lakh rupees. All right. So these are some of the questions which are have been asked. All right. So there is another interesting question. Suppose if we do BBA from a not that well recognized college, so does it affect the abroad MBA college admission? See, it depends from university to university. Some universities do really require that your university that you've graduated from, it's of a particular grade. Like I mentioned at Paris School of Business, you need to be from a NAC A, NAC B, NAC A plus plus. But it's not necessary. And that way it's great because see, MBA becomes let's say a course correction in your career. Yes. So in many cases, the university that you come from, it doesn't it's not as important as you perceive it to be. If you have good number of years of work experience, it could really help you. Yes, and you can get through an MBA college where they are not going to focus so much on your on your bachelor's. Okay, so and another question which I will take up is that, is French required by companies during placement? And the other question is that, um, do you require to know French by companies during placements? Other question is, do you need to know France to apply, French to apply? You do not need to know French to apply, but whether you're applying in Germany or whether you're applying in France, you do need to have a certain level of English proficiency test scores. That's EPT. And I will tell you that what is the EPT available. However, one of the good things in France is that there is an EPT waiver. That means you do not need an IELTS score or a Duolingo score or any kind of English proficiency test. if you can prove that your medium of instruction during your bachelor's was English. I assume most of you would have been taught in English in your bachelor's. If you can show a certificate that says that you have been taught your bachelor's degree in English, you get a waiver. All right. The other thing is that in Germany, yes, you do require English proficiency test scores. You require it both during application, you also require it during visa. So a 6.5 IELTS is required and an equivalent score for PT or Duolingo. Do you need to know these languages after you graduate? So I'll tell you one thing. If your long-term goal is to settle down in that country, yes, absolutely you must attempt to learn the language. Because of the fact that you can survive there, but you will not be able to thrive. If you want to, let's say, work even in France or in Germany, they will expect you to know at least B2 level of French or Germany. Yes, if you wish to settle down there, you need to know C2 level of that language to get a PR. Okay. And the other thing is that, of course, I'm sure that if you have long term plans, you do not just want to do any kind of job, right? You want to move up the ladder, you want to succeed. For that, knowing the language is very important. But I want to reassure you that it's not difficult. And there are many students who go from here without knowing the language at all. And they get all the resources or the services at the university they choose to go to, which helps them really get familiar with the language, and they really help to get to excel at the language. And you can, of course, have that opportunity as well. So that will be my answer to you. And the other thing is that there are some people who've asked about MBA in Germany. So I'd like to bring you to the MBA which I was speaking of in Germany. All right. And this is an MBA from University of Europe for Applied Sciences. We have two MBAs from here. One is a general MBA, which is without specializations, and one is a MBA with specialization. Now, when I speak of the MBA with specialization, it's in four campuses. It's in Berlin, it's in Hamburg, it's in Iserlohn, and it's in Potsdam. Berlin, as you know, is the startup capital, is the startup hub. You have more than 300 plus MNCs in Berlin, and you know what are the top companies I'm talking of: automobile companies, Mercedes, BMW, Lufthansa, DHL. All of these are the companies which are there in Berlin. It's very well known for its entire startup scene, which means they're very hungry for young talent. And you have this University of Europe for Applied Sciences, which is a 25-year-old university. They have more than 100 plus nationalities which are represented on campus. Yes, and it's a state accredited university, which means it's got a stamp by the German government. Yes, it's also got a stamp by FIBA, which means that whatever programs they teach, they are of the highest quality in respect of education. It's one of the better schools in Germany. It's been recognized as a global leader in international orientation, and it's also ranked as a top 10 university in business studies. So once again, University of Europe for Applied Sciences is very well known for its placement rate. They have a 93% placement rate, with more than 93% of their students graduating within getting a job within 12 months of graduation. Yes, 71% in fact have a job before they graduate. Yes, while you are studying also, you can work part-time. In Germany, you can work 20 hours part-time, and you can work full-time 40 hours. Many of their students work in big companies, whether it's Canon, whether it's Merck, whether it's Daimler, whether it's DHL. They have partnerships for their students. They have entered into partnerships with companies like BMW, with DHL, with Lufthansa, just to enable students to get internships with these big MNCs. Yes. Now, University of Europe for Applied Sciences offers you an MBA program, all right, which is, again, if I were to compare it to the model that I was speaking of, you have an opportunity to start 4 months, to do 4 months of coursework in India online from the comfort of your home, and do 12 months on campus. Now, the best part about this MBA program is you have 17 specializations. 17 specializations. So whether you choose to do MBA marketing management, because somebody asked about marketing, whether you want to do financial risk management, whether you want to do international business, whether you want to do management consulting, project management, investment banking, sales management, even in specializations like shipping and logistics, if you're coming from a tech background, or you want to do an MBA in digital technologies, yes, or you want to do an MBA purely in health, whether you want to be in health service management, whether you want to be in sports management. We have 17 plus specializations. Yes, across, some across Berlin, across Iserlohn, across Potsdam and Hamburg. These specializations are taught in places where the best opportunities are. So, for example, if I were to talk about Berlin, Berlin is Europe's leading startup city, right? You have companies like Accenture, KPMG, McKinsey. These are the top consulting firms, right? And you have MBA in project management there, you have MBA in investment banking. Yes, let's talk of shipping and logistics. Now, if you talk of shipping and logistics, it's in Hamburg, and you have the world's biggest logistics company, DHL, in Hamburg. So, again, this MBA program, they have made a conscious effort to have the specializations in places where they know there are opportunities. So, you can intern and find jobs so easily, and you can also find permanent jobs after you graduate very easily. Again, the admission criteria here is so accessible. So you only need 50%. And somebody who asked me, where can a 3-year degree holder apply? This is the answer for you. You can apply for this program. You can be from a Bachelor of Arts, provided you are from an honors degree. You can be a BSc honors student. You can be a BBA, BCom, Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Technology. And you just need 1 year of work experience. You only need 1 year of experience. So, you for somebody who does not have 3 years of experience, this is a program you can definitely give consideration to. You need 1 year of work experience. You are going to do 4 months of coursework here in India. Start from the comfort of your home. Yes, you can start immediately. You can start next month. And you can choose to go to Germany in March or September. Yes, that's how easy it is. If you choose to even go for the general MBA program, you can choose to start online and go on campus. And if I were to tell you what the fee on campus is, we have offered you a scholarship, and your fee on campus is 12,000 euros, which is even a little less than the MBA I spoke to you of France. It's 12,000 euros, so it is 10 lakh rupees. 10 lakh is what the fee of the specialized MBA really is. 10 lakh is the whole fee for the tuition, and you're going to spend another 10 lakh for your living. On an average, you are going to spend somewhere around 20 lakh for the entire MBA program. And what you are going to earn as your first salary on an average is somewhere around 45 to 55,000 euros, which is somewhere around 45 lakh rupees. And that's an ROI of more than 200%. Yes. So I'd like to leave you with only this thought. So these are the two MBA programs that I have for you out here, which I think are well within, your affordability. And it's not just about affordability, like I began this discussion with. It needs to, because I know that if you are going to consider higher education, you're just not going to consider any other degree simply for how less it costs me, because there are many MBAs which you can do in India for under 1 lakh rupees also, if you choose to do it online. But it's about quality, and here I have two options for you, which are from two very sought after schools, which give you plenty of opportunities in respect of the subjects that you want to do, which do not require you to do a GMAT, which are in two of the most emerging landscapes for higher education, which is Germany and France, and which are from two top colleges, which is really going to help you catapult your career. Yes, so that's from my end. Yes, so there is somebody who's asked me, is it worth doing an MBA in finance from Germany? Of course, it is absolutely. In fact, the MBA that I spoke of, some of the most sought after specializations are in finance. I have two specializations in finance called financial risk management and financial management. And I will tell you that it's based out of Berlin, and you have several MNCs purely focused on finance in the Berlin region. So I would say that yes, if you are talking of finance, Germany is a good place to be in. And of course, when I talk of the kind of curriculum you'll be exposed to, you will also get a lot of industry level exposure. Yes. Now, Hatika's question, is it possible to do MBA in Germany without 1 year of work experience? You require 1 year of work experience to do the MBA. And MBA in marketing is better in US or Europe? I think that's a very broad-based question. I would say that you really need to understand what kind of marketing are you speaking of, because there are different types of marketing also. Yes, if you wish to do performance marketing, that choice is going to be very different from if you want to do social media marketing or you want to do digital marketing. I would say that both places, US and Europe, offer opportunities in this space. Yes, so I cannot just narrow down and say it's better in the US or it's better in the Europe. It completely depends on what are your factors of consideration. How much are you willing to invest in respect of both time and money? Because in the US, an MBA in marketing is going to take you at least 2 years. In Europe, it could be less than 2 years. There'd be a variation in the cost. There'd be a variation in the criteria also. Okay. Can we take up work experience with our bachelor's in parallel? No, they only calculate your work experience after bachelor's. Ritik asked me how many years of work experience is required for this. You need 1 year of work experience for the MBA in Germany, but make sure that work experience is after your bachelor's. Is it possible to do MBA without 1 year of work experience? I've answered that. Which are the best college that give admission without work experience? So, like I said, in MBA, you do require work experience, but I do have an equivalent of an MBA. It's basically a master in management, which is preferred by freshers. And I have it from a very top tier school. It's called Kedge Business School, again in France. You can go and research about it, Kedge Business School. And it's a very, very sought after MIM program. It's 50th in the world in terms of rankings. We do offer it in terms of our 1+1 model. And I will tell you one thing is that, even in MIM after your bachelor's is going to give you similar returns like an MBA, because it's also going to lead you to a leadership position, considering the fact that you are a fresher. Yes. And it's going to put you into the management field. Yes. Which intake or year are we aiming at here? 2025 September. All right. So these are some of the questions. I will answer one final questions from Rajiva. That yes, you mentioned that you're 41, you have a master's degree and 12 years of work experience. Should I go for a general MBA or executive MBA? So I would say that you are in a sweet spot. Usually, an executive MBA is taken by people who have 10+ years of work experience. But I'd also like to tell you that when you speak of an MBA, a lot of people choose to do an MBA also after 10 years of experience. So within that one same classroom where you have a person who has done 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience, you could also have somebody who has 10 years of experience. But that having been said, you really have to outline what your goals are after doing an MBA. What is it that you're looking for? An executive MBA could be more industry specific, and if you are very certain about which field you want to enter into, what kind of roles you're looking at, executive MBA could be much quicker for you and would give you a more targeted classroom. The people who you are going to interact with are going to obviously all be more than 10 years of work experience. But if you're looking for diversity, if you just want to go back to education, if you are just going with a very open mind and you want to let's say take the entire experience of an MBA, because of the fact that an executive MBA is going to be the kind of curriculum or the kind of atmosphere is very different from an MBA. So in that case, you can also go ahead with an MBA. Yes, the outcome is not going to be dependent on the degree so much as what you take away from it. All right. So that's my question. That'll be my answer for you. And I believe with that I have answered most of your questions. Yes, and I do see that a lot of you are asking me follow-up questions, but what I'm going to do to assist you with that, for the simple reason that we have kind of come to the end of the webinar, and I would love for you to get your questions answered by an expert in this field. So, what my colleague would have done in the chat box, or what we can also do, is give you the link to our website on the chat box, and you could reach out to our counselors and you could book a free 1:1 counseling call, and they are going to assist you with your individual profile and with your individual career goals. Yes, so I'm just going to quickly put down the website details here. Here you can also read about all the programs that we have at Upgrade Abroad. Yes, I've put it on the chat for you. You can go here, you can explore our website, and you can also sign up for a 1:1 free counseling session where our counselors will personally call you, and they will discuss your profile and they will help you with your queries. Yes, so thank you so much. It was a wonderful discussion, and it was a pleasure interacting with you. Great questions, and great to know that you all are so keen in respect of your career. So I hope that it was an informative session, and we really look forward to hosting you again very soon. Thank you